Hello, good morning. Happy Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time on Sundays. We answer your amazing questions from the comments. And so I just want to say hello and thank you. And one more time, celebrate. We are over 40,000 subscribers on this channel because of you. And if you're watching this live or you're watching this on a replay and you haven't subscribed, if you like what we do here, I hope that you do. And I think you can even say, hey, make sure I'm notified of new content because that's what helps us continue to put out new content each and every single week. And also just thank you to those of you who are in the comments and uh, you're supporting what we're doing here. You're asking great questions. I really do appreciate it. It makes all the work that we do here as a team worthwhile. So today we're talking about teaser modifications for teaser if you have lower back issues. And I just want to say before I get into it, I am teaching some great workshops that have to do with supporting your teaser on our winter tour. And we are 33 days away from kickoff. So we're going to go to 23 cities, Brad, 23 cities, I think. We're going to have Colorado Springs, Fayetteville, Arkansas, St. Louis, Missouri, Dayton, Ohio, Columbus. Columbus, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan. Don't know if those are the right order, but that we're going there. Then we have Pittsburgh. We have Rochester, New York. We have Boston. We have Cape Cod, Mashpee, for those of you who are Cape Codders who'd like to correct me. I know, just in case. We have Hershey, Pennsylvania. We have Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. We have Washington, D.C., Charlotte, Virginia Beach, Charlotte, North Carolina. Then do we go into Florida? Okay. Then we have Delray Beach, which is around Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Tampa. We're going to do that on New Year's Day. It's our annual tradition so far. Pensacola. Then we have New Orleans, Houston. Hello. It's been many, many years since we've done Houston. We're coming back. Austin. Austin, we love you. You're doing amazing work there. And then we have Phoenix, Arizona. I don't think I missed a single. Lexington, Kentucky, Brad. How did you let me forget Lexington? We are going to be there as well. So opc.me/tour. There'll be workshops that are for clients and for teachers. So all levels are welcome. And we will support any teaser question at any workshop because it's part of it. It's part of the system. And so the thing about when you're in a group class and you have any aches, pains, or contraindications, it can be difficult, right? You want to be in the class for the community, for the connection, for the price, right? For the consistency. But classes are often built and designed for the average person without issues. And that isn't to slight any teachers. They have to do that. Half the time, we don't know who's going to show up. People change last minute. Someone walks in with a cast on their arm. Someone walks in pregnant and someone walks in with back issues. It's like, holy moly, how do I create a class for everybody? So I really appreciate giving my desire for this channel is to make sure that clients and teachers alike are supported so they can be independent in a situation that they're in, especially the clients going into a class. I want to make sure that you have the agency to switch out exercises that aren't right for you because that allows you to be in those group classes that are designed for synchronized Pilates, but for you to have your own individual connections, right? So teaser and back issues. Lots of different things can go on there. To be on the same page, let's do teaser on the reformer. Teaser on the mat is a little different, but I'll do teaser on the reformer because I believe that's what this question was coming from. It should be on one spring. We've done many videos on how to set up the equipment to make teaser more possible, but you can see from the start position, it starts an extension. So for a lot of back issues, this is probably okay. Some people are allowed to extend. Some people aren't allowed to extend at all. So it depends on your back problem, right? So right here, you might be out of the exercise. Then we have to go through flexion, which is where some other back issues aren't allowed to do. And then you have to balance there. So first thing is, if you're allowed to be in the teaser position, but you can't be in the start position, you can start seated right here and then just put your legs into teaser, right? This is where you would be. And you would do this. And when they go down, you put your feet down. If you're not allowed to be in this position, this puts too much pressure on your back. I'm not a fan of tabletop. We've done many a video as to why. It really is. Look, it's safe in a group class where the teacher's watching and you're like, put them in tabletop. Fine. But it actually does not ever get them out of tabletop. And so what I like to do is give permission to people to get on the floor and put their feet on a wall. We have a tutorial here on this channel. It's also in our accessories flashcards. These are at the wall. You put your feet at the wall, and then you can start seated and just hold the position. There's a lot of work there. You're squeezing your inner thigh, so you're pushing your feet into the wall. You're getting good glute strength, and you're lifting tall. And then you can lie down and rest, or put your feet down and rest and go back into it. Just because everyone's on a reformer doesn't mean you have to be, right? So I really do love that option for people. Another option is that you replace the exercise teaser with anything else you can do. So you saw that the arms are moving up and down. Maybe you actually kneel on the reformer. Be careful. Make sure your straps are long enough and make sure you're looking up. And you can face this way and you can just move the arms up and down in a tall back position. Nothing wrong with that. If I have a client who is further along in their pregnancy, they might actually sit here and do more of a horseback exercise, right? Where they are doing this part of the exercise. So they look like a teaser, but they're seated. That might be where you're at, right? And that also maybe feels a little less like, oh, I've got to get on the floor and do something different. For mat Pilates, a lot of people have back issues that are just more like it's not their core isn't strong enough, so they can roll like a ball into teaser. We do this a lot on OPC, roll like a ball into teaser. Again, teaser at the wall. Or if you're ever in a class of mine, you have full permission to replace what you can't do with something that you could do. So maybe you flip over onto your stomach and you do swimming. Totally fine. Not a big deal, right? I think where we get hung up is I don't look like them. And so therefore I'm not good enough and I need to look like them. And you don't. We're never going to look like each other doing the same thing. Even a girlfriend of mine, we did Pilates training at the same exact time. We're almost the same height, um, same build-ish. We even had the same haircut for a while. My legs are longer than hers. She has experience as a dancer since she was 2. I have experience as a runner since I could run. So, like, our bodies and how we use our muscles are going to be different. So, even with the same training, same amount of years doing Pilates, almost the same build, we look different. And so, I struggled for years comparing my practice to hers. And instead of going, wait a minute, the most important word in that sentence was my practice. Your practice is very important. So, when it comes to teaser and modifications, if you can do the shape, it's just that the legs or the balancing with the reformer isn't ideal, put your feet on a wall, right? Or start in the seated position. If it is that your back isn't allowed to do flexion, flip over and do some extension while everyone's on the box. Not a big deal, right? You can always replace some things. So I like giving permission that you don't actually have to do the teaser. When people came to Joseph's studio, they were given their exercises. Exercise like everyone had some version of the mat and some version of the reformer based on what their body could do, and then they were in order. And then they had their exercises on other pieces of equipment. Right? There wasn't a class where everyone was coming at 10 a.m. to do reformer. You went when you wanted to. So we have these classes now where everyone's doing the same thing at the same time, and it makes us feel like we have to be able to keep up with them. And that is not actually what Pilates is designed for. And so creating some independence and understanding of the exercise for your body is super key for you being able to show up to any class at any level and get the benefits of Pilates out of it. We can't compare ourselves to other people in the class. And also, align with that when you went to the studio, if you an exercise wasn't right for you, Joe didn't give it to you. There's over 500 exercises in Pilates, right? Not every single one of them is for everybody. There's exercises that I know how to do, but they're not actually right for my practice and my body where it is right now. And so I don't do them, but I might give them to somebody else. I think that's just really important because I think we're like, oh, I've got to be able to do this exercise. And you don't. You don't ever have to be able to do a teaser, especially if it's not right for where your body is right now. And I would highly recommend if you do have any issues that are chronic conditions, I know this is going to be hard. You need to invest in some private sessions so that you know what your modifications are for exercises that show up in every class. And I know that can feel unfair. It'd be great if studios would offer like a weekend workshop for people with back issues. Is a lot. They have to take that on, right? So I think like creating some sort of, if you want to do Pilates regularly, finding a place that you can get individual support is key. At OPC, onlinepilatesclasses.com, you can, in the community, ask specific questions about yourself. If you're a teacher, you don't get to ask about clients. So sorry, it's all about you. So you could ask, like, hey guys, I have this issue. I struggle with these exercises. What should I do? And the teachers and I will jump in and go, replace them with these things. But even more so, we have a live class every month where you can actually talk to me live and say, I really struggle with this. And I can go, these are the exercises you should be doing instead. And getting even better than that, you can actually film yourself doing exercises, and I will personally give you feedback on what you should be doing. And so, all of that is if you cannot afford to invest in privates at a studio, or the teachers at your studio aren't as educated in your condition, you can get support in an online class format where you actually are paying very little for a class compared to going to a studio. So there are options for you. And I love making sure people know that, because we want to make sure Pilates is as accessible as possible. We want everybody doing Pilates because I know it changes your life. Unfortunately, not every training program is created equally. Right? There's many reasons for this. People have tried to have standards for training programs. And now with the boom of Pilates, unfortunately, teachers are barely trained in some of these studios. And by the way, I'm not blaming the teachers. I truly blame the person who sells them the training program, knowing that they're not equipping them with all of the information that the studio owner is going off of butts and seats versus the impact and benefits of the person whose butt is in that seat. And so teachers go, I love doing this. I'm going to sign up for this program. They don't know. They come to someone like me, my friends, to get continued education, and then they move on to other studios. So I don't blame the people who were trained in the programs. I do think that there should be some sort of, if you're going to have a training program, it has to include these things. It has to include how to support someone who has injuries, illnesses, aches, and pains. It's to include hundreds of hours of teaching and observation, right? Not a weekend of training. So, but we're not there, and we're not going to get there. We're not going to get regulated anytime soon. So, with that, that's why this channel exists. That's why our tour exists. We want to make sure we are supporting clients and teachers alike, because the more we can do that, the more we impact the individual who's having the Pilates experience, but also it's a ripple effect for the people around them. Brad, any questions? No? Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed your extra hour of sleep, everyone. I can't wait to see you on tour. Again, 33 days. Make sure you snag your spots. Several cities are almost sold out. OPC.me/tour, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye.